Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm MTG Gaming Bob.
I'm Matt.
And today we're going to be covering the new release cycle coming up for 2022 and beyond.
So stay tuned. So we're going to be doing a quick TLDR of the showcase from the Magic Gathering website that they did, or the YouTube video that they did. It was over an hour long. This is going to be a really quick TLDR of kind of the stuff that we're picking. We're not covering everything, but we will cover a lot of the topics. And then in a future video, we might go in and do a deep dive because there's a lot of content in there. So this one is just, it's pretty cool. FNM is going to be back at your local gaming stores. And it's going to be in different formats. I know that when I first started playing in Friday Night Magic, it was only standard. Was it the same for you, Bob?
Oh, yeah. Well, they didn't call it that back then. It was like Type 1, Type 2, Sealed. So it was a little different naming convention when I started, but I'm old.
So what they're going to be doing now is they're going to be giving, I guess, I don't know if this has always been an option, but your local gaming store can pick if they want it to be Commander for Friday Magic, if they want it to be Pioneer or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Something maybe that's something new that they're allowing, or maybe it's always been there and it's just always been up to your local game store. I don't know, but I thought that was cool. Something to take away from the presentation. They're going to be doing some support for multiplayer pre-release events and formats, and I thought that was pretty cool. There's not a lot of multiplayer formats that at least are supported, so I thought that'd be pretty cool. They're doing, there's a companion app, and I haven't played in a tournament in a very long time, but apparently right now you have to download this companion app to be able to, join the tournament from that. And apparently there's allowing you to run events from home. They didn't really go into detail about what that meant, but that sounds pretty cool. I don't know. Do you know anything more about that, Bob, or no?
Well, just some of the stuff that I what we've got here on the screen, these pre-release promo cards. I think one of the cool things that they're going to be doing with these is they're going to put the actual store name on the cards themselves.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was really cool.
Super, super rare for very specific stores. If there's some particular store that's, more sought after than another, but I think that's pretty cool to give the stores a little kind of bonus there on their particular pre-release that they gave out. So you'll know where you won your pre-release cards at. So that's kind of cool. I just can't wait till they open it up to a wider audience than just the WPN stores, though.
Yeah, maybe even just let the WPN go to more stores and be a little less strict, maybe. I don't know all the criteria that's involved to become a WPN store, but yeah, just support all of your local game stores. If you sell the product, you should be able to be, if you can host, events, just let it happen. But the last thing for the store magic and FNM stuff was there was something that they mentioned called Commander Parties. They mentioned that it was a social-based game on storytelling, not really about winning, but more about telling a story. And it seemed pretty cool to me because it was similar to, I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and that's kind of what they sounded like they were talking about, was apparently it's going to be based in Innistrad in the beginning, and you are going to be just, I don't know what they mean about telling stories. I don't know if you're actually playing cards.
Well, from what I understand, they're going to have a video, right? That based on what happens during the commander events, okay, who has the most creatures on the board, and whatever that is will somehow, kind of pick a direction for the story that's going on with the videos in the store. So It's going to be driven by gameplay. Who has the highest life total? You're going to be assigned. I can't remember what they call it, some sort of tribe or something when you go in at random.
Oh, okay.
And so whoever meets whatever that criteria is at that time, it'll drive a story book that a flip book kind of thing where, if you choose this, then go to page 29, or if you choose this, go to page 48. Every story will be somewhat different in each LGS at these events.
So then we have a really cool, new to me, I don't know, how much you know about Pioneer, but it's new to me. They're releasing some kind of Pioneer decks that are coming out, and then we pulled up a kind of what is the Pioneer?
Pioneer is basically just Return to Ravnica Forward. Now it doesn't have any of the modern master decks in there. It looks like just basically all the standard and core sets from Return to Ravnica Forward.
But yeah, so the next thing that we're talking about is that this is the timeline. This is the one that they released for 2022. And this just has a plethora of awesome stuff on it, and we're going to kind of go through in order with some imagery and just kind of our initial thoughts about it. We don't have a ton of details about everything, but we'll just kind of mention what they've kind of go over what they talked about. So the first one is Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and this one, it looks very Alita Battle Angel to me. Like, that guy looks almost exactly like the person, if you've ever watched, it's like an anime show, but there's a guy that looks like this, and like the city is very similar, cyberpunkish.
Yeah, it's 2,000 years in the future from the previous visitation to Kamigawa, so.
And yeah,
I
you
know
can
that
tell.
it's going to be polarizing to a lot of people that, are the proponents for the swords and sorcery style magic that,
Right.
there's a lot of people out there, and God bless you if you're one of those. I'm all for, whatever they do to make the game more accessible and more appealing to a wider audience. So, unfortunately, I don't favor on the side of the traditionalist, I guess you could say. I don't even care if they put guns in there or laser beams or whatnot. If it brings more people into Magic and keeps the game vibrant and growing and new people coming in, I'm all for it. I am.
Yeah,
So,
I think it'll look
new.
cool. And yeah, I'm not against most things being entered in, to be quite honest. Like, there's only like one. I have one note on here that has WTF next to it, and we'll kind of gloss over that later on when we get to it. But besides that, I love everything that they showed off in the showcase. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's very bright.
Yeah.
That is color. Wow, lots of color.
I think it'll be cool. I think the card art's going to be awesome. I think that they're gonna. I don't know what kind of mechanics they're gonna do. I remember Betrayers of Kamigawa was a fun set to play, and there was lots of fun stuff. So to bring that into like the kind of new age era will be interesting to see what they actually do. They put laser rifles and stuff in there. Like, it'll be very interesting to see. But
Sure.
We'll find out soon. And then the next set that they were talking about is Unfinity. I think this is the unset that they've done, the first one that they've done in a long time, right? Like, when, I don't even know when the last unset.
They had one last year. Oh, was it last year? But it was a box set. I'm not sure if this one's also going to be a box set. I sure hope not. I'm not a big fan of the unsanctioned box set. I suspect that they will. I have one for our play group sealed for when we want to play it, but I think it's too limiting to make it a box set. I love the draft. I think draft is so key to pretty much all of Magic. I really do love the draft format. Always have. And if they make it to where it's not drafted, then I think it really kind of takes away a lot of the specialness and mechanics. And if it's, pre-constructed decks, sort of, that's less appealing to me. But it's, again, color. Here we are again. Big, vibrant color cards. They're going to have the space lands.
These are going to be interesting. They're going to have the space basic lands, which I think are going to be pretty awesome. They're going to be planets and everything space, like cosmology, which is going to be really, really cool. And they're bringing the shock lands as space variants as well.
They're going to put things in there to get you to buy the set, or at least singles from it, no doubt.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. Could be cool. Our next one is going to be the Baldur's Gate Commander Legends.
I keep banging that gong about Commander Legends, and our play group, we drafted it a few times now, and it did not disappoint. At least not me. I don't know how you felt about it, Matt,
it was a blast.
Or the other guys at the table.
Yeah,
absolutely stellar experience playing Commander Legends draft. And they're adding in Baldur's Gate flavor on top of that. For you guys that don't know, Baldur's Gate is sort of an extended part of the universe for Dungeons and Dragons. It was also a video game for those of you that like playing the Baldur's Gate video games. We got Minsk, the Beloved Ranger, in the last D&D set.
Yep.
I know that they plan on bringing back the rulebook art in that set. I don't know what all they're going to bring, but if it's anywhere near as solid as Commander Legends 1, I will be buying a lot of this.
And there's one thing, there's new multiplayer keywords that is going to be introduced in the set. I thought that'd be pretty cool.
I hope that they put in a Commander draft set in their standard arsenal of releases every single year.
Yeah, there's so many commanders, so many different possibilities. Like they could easily do that, no problem. I'm pretty
And it's
excited
such
for
a
that.
popular format for people playing out there. So
Yeah,
thumbs up, huge thumbs up for this. Can't wait for it.
my notes were super excited for this. So I'm very excited as well. First half of 2022, which will be not too far away. But then we got our next Streets of New Capenna. When I first saw this one, it was just they talked about crime lords and gangs, and I was just like, I kind of cringed a little bit. But then they were talking. Then they kind of brought it back when they talked about that these are crime demon lord families. That makes sense to me. I was just trying to make sense in the world and normal gangs and normal crime. I mean, sure it happens, I'm sure, but in like a different facet. So this being about demon lords and all kinds of other families of that sort, that makes sense to me. So I'm pretty excited for it.
I'm actually the most stoked for the aesthetics of this set. From what I've seen so far in the spoilers for this, I love Art Deco. That's always been one of my favorite of art jams. And it's an Art Deco. I have a strong feeling that this set is going to have the most spectacular special frames, the showcase art. Hopefully the lands are it's out of this world for this set. I don't know about the mechanics of it. I've never been a big, like demon player, I guess. I don't know. But there are going to be 5 families, right?
Okay.
And they're all going to be, the 3-color pie. I'm going to assume that they're going to be the color pie that completes the triome cycle, right? So I think we're going to see the other 5 triomes because there's 5 families.
Right.
And we're missing 5 triomes. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. I'd have to look, and I'm really bad at that to begin with. Don't want to drag that out here, but they may not call them triomes, but I have a feeling they'll complete that, 3-color cycling with basic land type cycle triomes. They might call them like turfs or territories or whatever they call them, capos, or I don't know. But whatever they call them, I don't really care. I love the triomes. Been a big cheerleader for those. I think they're going to age well. They're already starting to go up. I did a video a long time ago about them. And if they put them in here, plus the art style that they have on this, and I would love to see them, kind of go off, maybe even in that comic book style on this too. And they did the comic book style Godzilla and Ikoria. Right. So a comic book style sort of gangster feel with Art Deco just feels so natural to me that I can't wait to see what they do with it. Even if I'm way off base here, this feels awesome for the look and feel.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, even mechanic-wise, what it would be like, but I know, like, a pre-release event, since they're doing, like, these cool things, I mean, you could go in and you can pick your crime family to start with, which determines, like, what pre-release kit you get. I mean, it should be real fun. I hope that they do something like that. But yeah, I'm super excited
I think they have a lot of... I'm glad that they're going to a brand... this is brand new place to go. New Capenna is something we've never seen before. So I'm glad that they're not rehashing something else because we're going to get quite a bit of that. And I kind of like when they go new on things.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't mind them telling, a new story so that we're not rehashing and trying to re-justify different storylines, going back and you're flashbacking and all this stuff. I love the fact that it's new. I like the new art direction. It feels amazing. So I'm really going to keep an eyeball on this one, and I might invest in this one myself, just to open the cards and look at them.
Yeah, and they're saying that'll be Q2 of 2022. So pretty cool. And then in Q3, we've got Dominaria United. They're going back home. This is going to be the 30th year anniversary set. So they wanted to go back home and kind of go back to the roots of the world. So this should be cool. I don't know much about Dominaria, to be quite honest, myself. I really don't have any notes on it. But what I do have, I know that they're doing a Magic Art Book of the Planes, which I imagine Dominaria will be in there, of the multiverse visual history. So I thought that'd be pretty cool.
I have several of the art books. I don't have them here with me, but I like the art books. I mean, they're great little coffee book tables coffee table books to put out for like company to thumb through and I got like 3 or 4 of them as Christmas gifts last year, which I absolutely love. They're
Cool.
having the artwork in there. Magic's big on art, so
Yeah,
makes sense
I've
to have
had much more appreciation recently for art than I did back in the day. Back in the day, I've noticed now when I open packs of cards, I'm actually looking at the art first. It's the first thing I look at, and then I look at the name, and then I look at what it does. But yeah. So then we've got the next set that they're going to be doing. This isn't 100% confirmed, but this is a quote unquote spoiler that I found when I searched for Double Masters 2022. I don't even know what this was, but Bob does.
It's Aminatu. I believe it's from Commander 2018. Again, another Seb McKinnon. I'm a big Seb McKinnon fan. I actually, I kickstarted his latest thing with playmats. Can't wait for them to come out in the next couple months here.
Cool.
They'll be on display on the channel. I'm not giving those away. They're mine.
All right.
But hopefully I'll have them out here for some openings, and you'll see the playmats that I got from that. I love Seb McKinnon. So I hope that there's going to be some Seb McKinnon art in the Double Masters.
The quality of this art is insane. I don't much care for the aesthetics as far as a creepy little girl in a swamp. That's not really cool. That's kind of creepy and scary, but that's probably what it was going for, and I imagine it's a black card. Oh yeah, it's Esper, right? You said?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I really, really like master sets. I didn't get a chance to do the 25th anniversary Masters or whatever it was.
Masters 25, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to really get some experience with this Double Master set. I think it'll be really fun. And then our next one that we've got is the Jumpstart 2022. This is quarter 4. I actually just had my first experience with Jumpstart. I had no idea what the hell it was. My buddy Nate, he bought 2 boxes of Jumpstart, and he brought it over, and we played them. It's pretty simple. You just take 4 packs, and you open them, and then you choose 2 of them to build a deck from. And they are just themes. Those are theme halves. Like, one of them was like lands, so that's just land theme, probably like landfall and stuff. Then there was another one that was like hydras. Another one was elves, goblins, all kinds of. Basically, pick every theme you could possibly think of, and then each pack has 20 cards in it, and it's got the basic lands and everything. You don't have to do anything to build the decks. You literally just take 2 packs, shuffle them together. It's a 40-card deck, and you play. And I thought that was so cool. It actually was really, really fun. And I thought that was really cool. I didn't win, and I didn't do well at all, but I still had fun looking at the cards and then going like, this is a really cool. Anybody can grab 2 of them together, shuffle them together, and it's really quick. There's no drafting, and sometimes you just want to grab some packs and play a game, and this is a good way to do it.
Well, the Jumpstart concept, I think, is absolutely fantastic for, there's good cards in there, but for the beginners, right? Especially for the newer players, because there's no thought process about building and constructing, so you don't have to worry about, what card should I go buy? What's a good card? You don't even have to think about constructing your deck at all. You just grab a couple of packs, you smush them together. So somebody who hasn't ever played before, just as long as you can explain the basic rules. Now, getting into the stack and all that can be difficult, but I think most of the mechanics that they use kind of avoid a lot of that in the Jumpstart packs. They're not overly tech decks, so to speak. So they're kind of aimed towards the newer player without being too watered down. There are some really great cards and unique to Magic cards in there. Some of that was the Thriving Land Cycle from Jumpstart. I don't know if you want to call it Jumpstart 21. But that Thriving Land Cycle, it comes into play tapped. It has a color on it. So let's say it's got red. It'll generate red. I don't remember what that one's called. But you choose the second color. Right? So if you're playing 3 colors, you get to choose what that second color is. So they're very, very flexible color fixing lands, especially when you're playing 3 or more colors. And I'll tell you what, they're amazing. I put them in all my 3-color plus commander decks, and you can pick those up for like 50 cents a piece right now. So I highly recommend getting at least the ones from Jumpstart 2021. And if I'd assume they're still going to have to focus on like color fixing, they're going to have something built into it. So I can't wait to see what they do for the land cycles. They might do the Thriving Cycle again, which would be slightly disappointing. I'd like to see them do something new and unique for the Jumpstart packs. But yeah, I think this is a fantastic product. I hope they fix the supply issues that they had with Jumpstart 21, which that was the biggest problem of Jumpstart 21. There was lots and lots of problems with distribution. So
Okay.
hopefully with this year, maybe getting slightly back to a more normalish venue for distribution and whatnot, that we can get the Jumpstart 2022 without the supply chain interruptions that we had for 2021. I want to take a moment here, and I know this is a really important spot to do this. I should have said it much earlier in the video, but I would like to give a shout out to Mr. Bevers. He gave us a shout out, which got a lot of new people looking at our channel. So I am so very grateful for Mr. B sending a lot of people our way. And we'll be including a link to his show down in the bottom here. He helps out at least once a week, from what I'm understanding, newer and smaller YouTube channels to try to give us some help, and it did. So for those of you that are here watching from Mr. Bevers, thanks so much for shouting us out, and thanks to Coder and Cards for turning him on to us. So appreciate it, and wish you all the luck in the world. Please go check him out.
Much appreciated. Ooh, our last one for the timeline, as far as what they have planned for Q4 2022, is the Brothers War, and this got me excited. I have always wanted to play a Tron deck. I think I bought all the lands at one point, and I never actually built the full Tron deck. And I like artifacts, and I like big monsters, and I think this is going to deliver in so many ways. I think this is going to be a huge set.
I'm hopeful for it. They did say that it's a Brothers War, but from a different perspective. So I don't know how prominently they're going to feature Urza and Mishra.
I mean, they're like front and center, you know. Like I think they have
are,
to be,
but they could be sort of that. They're the object of what the primary focus people are doing things for or about, but they said it's going to be from a different perspective. So I'm kind of curious what that actually means. I sure hope to goodness that we do see another artifact set. It's been a long time since we've had an artifact set. And I think you can see the Might Stone and the Weak Stone here. On Urza's got the Might Stone in his hand, and Mishra's got the Weak Stone on his belt there.
Yep.
So I'm very happy with the lore and the theme, and
there's a Myrrh in the background.
I mean, there's so much potential for what we've got here. It's the foundation, the very foundation of Magic itself. So it's an amazing thing that they have here, and I hope they do it some justice. I have all the faith that they can. But this really should be a big set. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I think it's gonna end 2022 with a bang.
Yeah,
I'm super excited. They didn't really release many details about it, but I'm pretty stoked for it. And then the last three things that we had that weren't on the timeline, or they were on the timeline, but they don't have a release window for, was the Warhammer 40K, the Street Fighter, and the Fortnite collaboration, or I'm sorry, Secret Lair drop type deals. I'm new to Secret Lairs. I think you've had more experience to them than I. I think
the Warhammer is actually not going to be a Secret Lair. The Warhammer is going to be commander decks.
Right.
So I don't know where they're releasing that. Like typically when you have a 4-deck set like that, and I think they did say it was going to be a 4-deck set.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're planning on releasing that. Right. I don't know where it makes sense to release that with.
You mean timeline?
Like a lot. Like, is it going to be completely independent? Release.
I mean, like
actually, they typically release the 4-deck sets along with something like with the Strixhaven and the Ikoria for the last couple of years.
Okay.
The 4-deck sets, or the 4-deck set for D&D. Kind of weird that we had 2 4-deck sets in a year. So I don't know where it's going to fall in the timeline of things. I would almost venture to say it's probably going to be earlier in the year for the 4-deck sets.
I can't.
So I don't know where that's going to be, but it's not part of the Secret Lairs. I've done a number of Secret Lairs. I wasn't in at the very beginning, but I do have. I don't know. I probably got about 20 different Secret Lairs or so.
Okay.
I like the Secret Lairs. I'm fine with them, especially when they start venturing out into really different IPs and things, to put them in things that are not quite canon of the game. They're a very special sort of release. So it's like people are like, oh, I don't want to see SpongeBob SquarePants as a commander across the table from me, which I could really care less, to be honest with you. But I respect people that do have that loss of immersion, and I sympathize with you if it does sort of affect you.
I would run SpongeBob SquarePants as a commander.
I'd run Squidward against you, but
yes.
But I like being inclusive. I like pulling more people in the game. I wish the whole world played Magic. I really do. So I think with the different IPs, especially Warhammer, it's going to expose Magic, which they're probably familiar with. If you play Warhammer, you're probably more familiar with Magic than the people that were into My Little Pony were, until they saw the My Little Pony special lair or secret lair. The secret lairs are a way to grab the Walking Dead attention to Magic. That just millions of people that know about Walking Dead that didn't know about Magic may now at least know that it exists. So I think it's a great bit of advertising, and I have absolutely no problem with it. And I mean, the world's been a little different since they started doing all this, but I don't know that it's so prolific that it's immersion breaking for all the secret lair stuff that they put out for different flavors of My Little Ponies and whatnot. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's good for the game.
Yeah, I initially had a WTF moment when they mentioned Fortnite. But as you've changed my outlook on it, to be quite honest. I initially was like, why would they do that? But I think you're right. It really bringing more people into Magic. Not only does it give us more people to play with, and more people to enjoy it, but it also makes it more successful. It's a win for everyone. And the fact that they're only doing it with reprint cards, they're not like brand new cards. There's not a My Little Pony set. There's not a Fortnite set coming out. Honestly, if they released a Fortnite set, I probably would not like that. I probably would completely skip it. And, maybe not. I don't know. But I don't really like Fortnite that much. I've watched it a couple times. I've never played it, but I'm just like, it's not a game for me.
Don't get me wrong. When I look at the card, it was jarring to see a techno bear thing dance. I didn't play Fortnite at all. Sorry. I don't have anything against it. It just wasn't my jam.
Right.
And I mean, it doesn't bother me to see that on a card across from me. There's enough weird ass cards out there. Like the one that has a fetus on a wall with a mouth swirling around it, and some of the cards from Ice Age are very Alice in Wonderland looking kind of stuff. Was it Reality Twist? There's been weird Magic forever, right? It's not that immersion breaking to me.
Your favorite card, Faithless Looting?
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
So the Street Fighter drop, I am more excited about because I actually like Street Fighter, and it's I think the art would be cool. I like the flavor that they're adding for the one chick. I don't remember her name, but yeah, where she is a famous kicker in the series for Street Fighters, or in the genre. And then it's going to have multi-kicker. That's great. Good flavor. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I don't know that I'll buy it, but I think it'll be pretty cool. The Warhammer 40K Commander set, I'm super thrilled for it.
I wasn't like really when they first just put up the Street Fighter logo, because it had such cheesy Konami 80s graphic, which I know you like the digital music, the 8-bit music from that kind of stuff. But
some of it, yeah.
I wasn't super excited until I actually saw the art that they did. I wish we had it up on the screen here. That's my fail for not grabbing that.
That's fine.
But it was really well done. Like, I really liked that artwork. And if that's the style that they're going to have in there, and it's consistent artwork throughout,
yeah,
I'm probably going to get those, because it was a sweet looking piece of art.
It looked really good.
It was very tastefully done. It was not, cheesy 80s, graphic kind of artwork. It was very, very well done. So as long as the artwork's good, dude, I don't care if the car is like 6 casting cost 0/1 creature that does nothing. I'll probably pick it up. I did it with, what is it, Divine Gambit, the Japanese Mystical Archive one. For those of you that aren't familiar with that artwork, I think it was the best looking, my personal taste, obviously, best looking artwork on the Mystical Archives, that and like the Dark Ritual. But I went out and bought 4 copies of it. I think I even showed you, Matt, the Divine Gambit. with that kind of dragon looking thing. That was sweet. And I bought it just for the artwork on it alone. Like the card I'm not a fan of, but the artwork was so good. I bought it. And I'll probably do the same thing with the Street Fighter, even if the multi-kicker is like terrible. It just it looks really, really good to me.
I agree. I think it looks cool. And yeah, I think the last thing that we had, or one of the last things, was the Lord of the Rings. I'm
just tickled my geek bone to you have no idea what degree. I'm huge Lord of the Rings fan.
I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but I do enjoy it and I like it. I like the world. I like the characters. But I've watched, I think, all the movies except for one. But I haven't rewatched any of them. But I do like it, and I think it fits magic so good. It's gonna blend right in.
Oh, I rewatched those movies. I have read the books countless times, probably 30 times. I've read the books through. Wow. I have watched the movies at least 30 times each, all the way through. I have always loved it. I even bought the Lord of the Middle Earth collectible card game back in 1995. Okay. 95 or 96. Still have 2 sealed boxes of it actually sitting upstairs. Cool. I went out of print a long time ago. Yeah. So I am super excited for this one. 2023. I'm going to be saving some pennies because I do plan on getting. You're going to see a lot of this in our play group, Matt. I can promise you.
Yeah, I mean we've got Deckard Cain up here. He's ready to identify your items.
Deckard Cain. Oh, I hate your face.
No, Gandalf. Dude. Gandalf here, front and center, using his magic to put on a fireworks show for the people. And
Bilbo's
I think
birthday party. That's the scene from Bilbo's birthday party.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's just really cool, and I think it fits. It's going to fit perfectly in Magic.
And they said that it was so big, it's going to be a full set. Yeah. So this is not a commander set. This is not a secret lair, but they did say there will be secret layers attached to this. So I'm assuming there's going to be some very special art variants for whatever cards are in here. They're probably going to be like Gandalf, Sauron, Frodo, Bilbo. The big characters are probably going to be, and they might even do like a secret lair drop of 40 cards for like $300. Boy, that's going to hurt my pocketbook.
Yep.
But they said they're going to do. I think they said they're going to do commander set for it. They're going to do commander sets for it, secret layers, full on draft set. And they did specify that it's going to be straight to modern legal, which leads me to my next tinfoil hat moment. They did Baldur's Gate for the Commander Legends 2. Yeah. How sweet would it be for this to be Commander Legends 3?
It'd be pretty cool. It fits.
Right?
There's plenty of Legends.
But they said recently they're not going to make any other non-Magic IP the premier sets, which in their definition is standard sets, right?
Okay.
So they're no longer going to have, after the D&D sort of, I don't want to call it a swing and a miss, but it was a bunt. How's that?
I mean, he hates it. I love it. I think AFR is fantastic. It's one of the best sets I've drafted in a while.
It did not do as well as they were hoping.
That's okay.
The sales can't be wrong. They are what they are.
Yeah.
So after that, Mark Rosewater came out and said that they're no longer going to do non-Magic IP or crossover IP. This is all going to be Universes Beyond, but they didn't say that it couldn't be a Commander Legends, which is, that's not standard legal. That's not a premier set, which is very weird verbiage. But I would be very, very excited to see this. It would fit perfectly, I think, in the Commander Legends slot for like Commander Legends 3, right?
Yeah.
That just seems like a very natural fit for me.
I agree.
So you heard it here first. That's my tinfoil hat guess. Probably very wrong.
Hey, but, if you're right, we'll make another video on that next year, and then we'll link back to this timestamp. Maybe we'll even throw like a smash cut of you just nailing it.
You heard it here first. Yeah, that's probably so wrong.
Hey, who knows?
But I think it would fit, and I would be super stoked to see that. And then if they choose the Commander Legends each year to be the crossover IP, I don't think anybody's really going to have a problem with that. I hope
it makes sense because it allows them to add in. I mean, there's so many legendary characters in other IPs that they could just bring in, and I think it'd be pretty cool.
Sure.
Well, that about wraps up everything we had initially kind of outlined to talk about. So let's use the next couple minutes to just maybe touch on a couple things that we didn't talk about. One thing that I'll just mention quickly, not something that it isn't really something like I'm super stoked for, but I did write pretty cool next to it. So when they announced it, this is the Netflix premiere Magic animated series in 2022. Near the back end of it, I'll probably give it a go. I don't know that I'll watch all of it, but if it's good, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. We'll see what it's about.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to talk about, I guess, would be Magic the Gathering Arena. One thing to know for you guys is if you do play Arena, they mentioned about something called the Renewal Egg for Arena. There's a bunch of rewards, including Midnight Hunt packs, booster packs for online. So if you do play Arena, make sure to at least log in. I think, from what I remember, as long as you log in from like now until like September something, don't quote me on the details. Just Google Renewal Egg for MTG Arena, and I'm sure you can get the actual real details. I probably shouldn't pull them up, but know that it exists. If you haven't logged in a while, log in, and you'll get free booster packs for Midnight Haunt, and then apparently a bunch of other rewards that they were talking about. So it's free. You don't have to purchase anything. You just have to log in. And then another thing is Historic Brawl. So this is kind of Commander online, but there's no Commander, which I thought was kind of weird. But so it's a 100-card deck, historic format for Arena, and you can play that anytime. Apparently, at one point, it was like you had to queue up for it, and then they only like let it come in for like a couple weekends or 2 weeks or whatever. It can be played anytime, and they say as long as it's up. They say they don't plan to take it down. So my guess is as long as there's enough players playing it, they will keep it up forever. So that'll be cool. Oh, and apparently there's going to be online-only cards, which are kind of weird, but the mechanic makes sense why it wouldn't be in person, but I also feel like segmenting online versus offline is a little weird to me, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it's definitely divergent paths, but you're absolutely correct.
So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you had to mention, or do we pretty much nail everything?
Yeah, I actually, after we've covered all the things that we saw in the timeline here for 2022 and beyond, looping this back into one of our previous videos where we talked about wallet fatigue. So I'm just going to point that out here, that we are expecting, starting with these sets that are before what we've even talked here, with the Innistrad sets coming out, expect to see, I believe you looked it up, Matt, was it 15% roughly increase that they're talking about?
Yeah.
For the cost. And it may go up even higher than that. They've been pushing the bounds, so expect a lot of these products to be more expensive than what you're traditionally used to getting. That being said, we had talked about just looking at it in a new way and being more selective, because there's so many products, so many great products that are coming out, things I'm very much looking forward to. And, it's kind of like a kid in a candy store. However, there's only going to be so much that I can afford to buy. 3 things that I'm most looking forward to, and hopefully I can space them out so where I can actually afford to do it. First off is going to be Baldur's Gate Commander Legends 2. So in love with Commander Legends. If they do as well as they did with Commander Legends 1 and Commander Legends 2, I can't imagine not spending more money on that. The visually appealing aesthetics of new Capenna, I'm going to have to get some. So I'm going to talk about my skips here in a second. Just hopefully the cards are good enough, and if there's triomes in there, I can't imagine not picking some of that up. The Brothers War, I'm eyeballing. That's just more of a side note, but definitely in 2023, even if the set just royally sucks, I'm picking up Lord of the Rings. I don't care what it is. I'm doing it. That's going to be in my collection for sure. What about you, Matt? Is there anything here that jumps out at you?
The things I would say, if I went top down, so number one, and most thing I'm excited for is probably the Brothers War. I really want to play in a set that has like tons of artifacts and experience that. Same thing as, I can't imagine they're not going to do some kind of Tron's either reprint or a reversion of it. So that'll be really, really cool. Affinity, I know, is going to come into play. Affinity for artifacts and modular and all that kind of fun stuff. I think it's going to be cool. Masters 2022 Double Masters is going to be really, really cool. I'm definitely going to at least buy a box and open it. Jumpstart 2022 would be really, really fun as well, I think. If I'm looking at just things that I want to buy and experience, Dominaria United, I don't know enough about it to be excited about, so I can't. Streets of New Capenna, I think it'll be interesting with the crime families, with demon crime families. I think that'll be... I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do with it. I'm not really caring about the Unfinity set. The Commander Legends is probably... Actually, I'll go to Commander Legends over Jumpstart. I'll move that to number 4. Commander Legends. So Brothers War, Double Masters, and then Baldur's Legend. Baldur's Gate Commander.
Nice. And anything that you're going to skip besides Unfinity? Neither one of us really mentioned Kamigawa, and it's falling in that unfortunate slot of the January set, which traditionally does poorly. It's an interesting thing. It's a cool new look. It'll be, I think, unique-ish, and it's the first time they're going totally futuristic.
Right.
In a standard set, at least.
I think I need to see more.
I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I don't know. There's going to be things that I have to just with the releases. I just can't keep up. So, unfortunately, the things that are going to top my list of sort of pass probably going to be the Unfinity. Like if I get any of the Space Shocks or whatever, it's going to be targeted singles. Now, understand when I say pass, I'm not talking about completely passing on a set, but probably not cracking any of it is what I mean by that. But I'm just looking at very specific targeted singles out of it. Kamigawa will probably fall in that ballpark for me. There might be some very targeted singles that I pull out of that. New Capenna, it's really going to depend on the mechanics, but I really like the artwork from what I'm seeing. So if they continue with that, maybe that might be really high on my list, but it might be a pass. If it's a completely watered down set, I'm probably going to pass because it's just there's no value in it. I'm probably going to say no thanks. Dominaria United is going to be pretty high on my pass list as well. I mean, depending on the strength of the set and whatnot. The interesting thing is, you notice it falls in that slot of where we would normally have a core set, and they're just not doing it this year. There will be no core set.
Oh, right. I didn't even notice that there's no core set at all.
So we'll see what the power levels look like during this great power down period, but that might be on the back half of that where they're starting to power back up again. So we'll see where a lot of that is. The Double Masters, again, like I said, it just might be too pricey for me to crack any of it, and just targeted maybe a couple of singles in there. Who knows? They might even be too pricey for that. A lot of those cards already, are the singles are $300-$400 already themselves from Double Masters, right? Yeah. That's just a little. Do you do that, or do you buy a dual land? Oof, that's a tough call. Or like a Survival of the Fittest, or some of these really, really great cards, from Magic's history that are on the reserve list. Yawgmoth's Will. There's so many great cards that are in that same price point that you're talking about, something that can be reprinted at a $300-$400 price point, or even just buy the box. I mean, getting up with the collector boxes at $350-$400, which is what I would suspect we're going to see next year. Or do you go secondary market and pick up some reserve list cards? These are all questions you're going to have to ask yourself. And I plan on bringing an upcoming video with Matt where we discuss, financial responsibility and spending on Magic. How to budget correctly for Magic, and what does that really mean? So that's all part of what I'm getting at here. Is these are great, and we have a lot of stuff to look forward to. But what are you guys out there looking forward to? What are you going to budget to try to pick up? What are you going to skip? Would love to hear from you in the comments below. Please let us know what you want to do the upcoming sets for, must-haves and probable skips and that kind of stuff. Love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and I initially thought this was going to be a TLDR, but it's actually going to be as long as the actual release video. But I do think that both videos are worth the watch, and I'll link the source video that the actual video that they announced themselves. It's a bit it's a good video, but it is a bit I'll say cheesy, which is I guess okay. But we covered most of everything that they covered, but I still think it's worth the watch. But if you can't watch it, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if there's any topics that we didn't talk about that you want to see a video about, put in the comments. We'll talk about it and give our opinions and whatnot. And remember, this is all just our opinions. So if you disagree, let us know in the comments. And hope to interact with you guys down there.
So thanks for stopping by, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day out there.
And thanks for giving us your time. More valuable. Also, hydrate.